Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and
welcome to MME. I got a hot one right now. My mic was muted. Sorry. I'm still filming. Sci-Fi Dragon, Mr. Freeze. What the hell, dude? No. I'm not mad at him. He's his right to his own opinion. He's on Lantern 2814. I watched Lantern's video. You know what? No, I'll just read it to you. I'm not going to share it because we're going to get more to the Ray Fisher accusations against Geoff and how I feel about how you feel about it. I am not. Listen, I'm open to hear both sides. I haven't judged anyone yet. I do know I have a slight bias because I know about Comicsgate creators and how they are so anti-SJWs that they are not afraid to mock people and stuff. And that's not professional in the workplace. Guess what? That's why they're in indie comics now. They're not professional. They're good artists. They're good storytellers. They become the villains in their comic books. They always have to have a villain of the week too to attack somebody. Their heads are too wrapped up into this shit. So that's my bias, is I know how they roll. And this, I'm gonna get to the accusation. Here is the thumbnail for the video. Geoff mocks Ray being replaced. Do I think it's something that could go to this extreme that Ray's doing? I don't know. It's an asshole move. It's a douchebag move. But that's par for the course with Comicsgate creators. Is this what a president of DC Films should be when he was at the time? I think it's pretty lame. I think he should be reprimanded for it. I don't know how far Ray's going to take it. So I'm conflicted. And we're getting this secondhand from Ray's point of view, which I'm going to share you Ray's own words. I still am a fan of Ray Fisher. I am not against Geoff Johns. If he did something wrong, I want him to be addressed. Yes, absolutely. Accountability. I don't want him to be canceled. I did not participate, Sci-Fi Dragon. I did not participate in the retweets of Fire Geoff Johns. I didn't do that shit. We haven't heard anything from him yet. This whole back and forth is driving me crazy too. It does need to be covered though. But let's get Ray from his own words, okay? Let's bring that up. There's an article that's on, I think this is on comicbook.com now. You know what? He should just make a YouTube channel. All right, hold on. Let's get to this. Make sure the volume's up.
All right. Happy Sunday, my friends. I hope you're doing okay. I hear some babies crying. I'll watch them grow. They'll know.
I don't know if we're going to watch the whole thing.
Then I'll ever know.
I don't know if we're going to watch the whole thing. I wish he should just have a YouTube channel. Why is he only on Instagram? And hey, Ray, not that you watch me. I know you watch the Poindexter Lounge, but just go to YouTube. Really. People are going to, you'll get a better response. I think you'll get more support. Not that,
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All right. Hope y'all are doing all right out there. Sorry, I heard a baby crying and got distracted and I got segued into a song. No, I wanted to go live and just say thank you to each and every one of you out there who has shown me nothing but love and nothing but support.
Now I support Ray, but I do have questions, and I don't like this constant back and forth either. I don't know how far he's going to take it. What I've always said is I'm going to support him till I think I have a reason not to. Now, the articles coming out that said he wasn't cooperating I'll tell you what, that took me back. I was like, what the hell, Ray? What the hell? But then he came out with the response to say why. Now, how serious is it that he needs to say, I need a third party if they were going to actually investigate? Were they trying to do damage control and cover it up on their own before Warner Media swooped in and said, we're going to handle it our way? Possibly. So I don't know. To me, it's too early to tell to pick either side, really. To pick either side 100%. What he accuses Geoff of in here, I don't think it's anything that's going to get him anything that's going to cause him more issues than he's already has. I think he'll still be able to keep his project, Geoff Johns, but I don't know if there's more. It's kind of, is it harassment? Well, if he did, okay, so we'll get to his own words, but what he did was he basically, the thinly veiled threat about his career, and then cyborg projects are on the back burner. We know Ray wants them, but I don't necessarily think that was Geoff. I just think the DCEU was not as successful, so I don't think. Look how long it's hard it's been to get Flash going. Honestly, people wanted Flash more than Cyborg. Not me personally, but the general public, I believe. So I don't think it was like Geoff Diabolical Johns saying, you know what, cancel Cyborg's project because Ray wants it. I don't think so. Now that he actually go by backhand channels to get Ray's number to call him and mock him that there's this new Cyborg in Doom Patrol and laugh at him. I mean, you'll have to take. Some people don't believe Ray. I believe that's possible. These comic book creators are kind of wacky. Go if you want to see how wacky they are. Go look at Comic Artist Pro Secret. Yeah, he talks in a soft voice, but he's got some rage issues. I've been on a few streams where he goes pretty crazy, and I watched him. And then he has no problem mocking his so-called enemies, mocking them. So if say Geoff Johns thought Ray was being ridiculous, would he go as far? Now, I don't think he was wanting his character when he was involved in the creation process of Cyborg, of the writing with Terrio and Snyder. When he was actually involved, I don't think he's being ridiculous to still want his input for the character. No, shut up and say booyah, and then if you come at me, I'm gonna teach you a lesson and mock you. I think it's very possible. Is he that petty? Is Geoff Johns that petty? I don't know. I'm not condemning him because I don't know for sure. I'm not saying. Listen, I don't know for sure this has happened. I don't want to necessarily call Ray Fisher a liar either. See, that's where I'm stuck. I'm stuck in somewhat of the middle, even though some of my pals think I'm just going to scoop up. Listen, if you call someone a liar, you're picking a side yourself. You're saying he's lying. Geoff Johns hasn't said anything about this yet. Once Geoff Johns comes out, and I'll examine his words. If he will, there might be a reason he's not. So they haven't said the other side. I'm not going to say this guy's a liar, Ray Fisher, until I have reason to. This sounds like immature behavior with some of the so-called professionals that I've witnessed on the internet, on social media, like his good friend Ethan Van Sciver. Does that mean he's guilty? Does that mean Geoff Johns is guilty because of what I've seen happen with Ethan Van Sciver? No, it doesn't. I'm just saying I've seen this type of behavior before. These people were immature, some of them. Juvenile. And that's not a way to run DC films. So I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I'm not going to call I'm not going to call Ray a liar. So is that wishy-washy? Is that riding the fence? I guess it is. I'm not going to condemn anyone yet. All right, so let's hear the rest of this till where he gets to the part.
Over the last couple of days, I am in shock and awe at two things. I'm in shock and awe that Warner Brothers would have even had the audacity to put out a statement like that, they've set themselves up, unfortunately, for a lot of issues. They do not know how many receipts I have for interactions that I've had.
Okay.
They do
All
not
right.
know
I don't
the
know.
people that I've been talking to. They do not know a lot of the people that I have.
And I don't know either. Does he have lots of receipts? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a liar. So he says he has them. He says he has them. Okay. I mean, like, if we never see the receipts ever and it's only this, then that's going to be on Ray. But I'm not going to say he's lying about it. He says he's got receipts. Okay. Should they come out by now? That's the debate. Is this gone too far where get to the point, Ray? Is there a reason he's holding back? Is there a reason he's holding back, protecting people he cares about that are still working? Because he said he's had to try to get a situation where people could be anonymous. If you've been following this story, now, do you think that's why he backed off? Or do you think he backed off because he doesn't have anything? That's the argument, if you believe him or not. I'm not going to call people liars until I have a reason to. Okay, I'm not going to condemn the accused until it's played out. I just know I do have some slight bias, yes, because I know how the good pal Ethan Van Sciver has been, and how he spun things like he was kicked out of the industry when in reality it was behave on social media. You know, he just didn't want to sign. He just wanted to be himself. Which is fine when you're your own boss. This doesn't have a place in freedom of speech, but in the workplace, okay, it's different, especially when you're in charge. All right.
That are willing and able to take part in the investigation, and that unfortunately is something that is ultimately going to jam them up in a big way. It was a bold move for them. To go out and flat out call me a liar in a sense, and say that I was not attempting to, or at least not call me a liar, but to say that I was attempting to not communicate or attempting to avoid the investigator or not cooperating with the investigator. It's the worst kind of spin that you could put on a situation like this, because I've got the receipts to prove that at every step of the way, there's been clear communication as to what it is that we've been attempting to do. And so they put themselves in a really weird place, I'm not going to lie. And it really sucks, because ultimately what's going to happen is somebody's going to get thrown under the bus for that statement that they put out.
I don't know.
If you notice in that statement, there was not a single quote from Walter Hamada. There was not a single quote from anyone. It was
that kind of was odd. I agree with him there. Like, if it's an official, I don't know. I could go either way on this one. Did Hamada say give the okay to that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna be real. I don't know. Why do I bring Ethan Van Sciver up? I'm just saying that I'm just bringing it up for my bias. It's impossible to be 100% unbiased, but I try my best. Okay, and I'm not gonna condemn Geoff Johns yet either. It just sounds like par for the course with some of these comic book creators and how they behave and their, who they ride with. But I don't want to do guilt by association. So is Geoff guilty? I don't know yet. Is Ray a liar? I don't believe so. I would rather focus on fandom. And I think that's what DC wanted to do too, and just like talk. The reason they're talking about the Flash is you're going to get your project, shut up and move on. And he's like, nah. I mean, if you take him on his word, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not just going to shut up and move on. That's how Hollywood has been in the past. Oh, you were done wrong? Well, here's a project for you. Shut up. That's how it's been. I know that for a fact. All right.
It was a blanket PR statement that was put out. So, as seems to be the way, and what I said about Walter Hamada throwing Joss Whedon and John Berg under the bus is absolutely true. But as seems to be the way, they probably intend to throw somebody's poor assistant under the bus for being the one that had to press send on that email. And that's unfortunately how it goes. It's it's gross. It's really gross. But the only way to cut through the PR spin is to hit it with hard fact, hard evidence, and to let people know, you're not playing games. So it's a really weird game. It's a sad and desperate game, but it's a predictable one. And they are simply being reactionary now, which is obviously not a good look. I made it very clear weeks before, or at least, I'm sorry, on August 21st, 5 days before I was to go in and talk to the investigator, that I would be doing my due diligence. I would be vetting the situation and making sure that the investigator was indeed a third party and a fair and impartial individual. What they neglected to mention
now, okay,
in the
to be Deadpool's advocate, do you think Ray is being silly here? I think a lot of critics of Ray might say maybe he's being silly. You need a third party to be investigated. You should be happy there's an investigation. But if the situation is, how Dumbcock says there's a civil war at Lucasfilm and Disney, there actually is at Warner Brothers and Warner Media. So if it is really a volatile situation still, even going into these fandom events of gaining control over the future of DC films, properties, and all that, if it's people's jobs are on the line, money's on the line, it can be a volatile situation. Do you think he is? I'll ask you viewers right now, do you think he's silly to ask who should be investigating? If it's as volatile as it could be, like two sides, and this is irregardless of his claims. If these two sides are trying to vie for control over the future of these movies, TV shows, and jobs are on the line, and who's in charge and all that, it might be important who this goes to first. So it could be. So is it still some critics of him saying, like, so this is silly. Why does he just come out with it? There's still stuff going on there. It's weird. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Put yours down below. We're not going to watch the whole video. Go check out Ray's Instagram or comicbook.com. The reason I'm watching on here is the Instagram feed was pixelated.
Article that they had put out, and some people have called it a hit piece, and for all intents and purposes it is, but what they had neglected to mention is that after my conversation with Walter Hamada, wherein I demanded of Walter that we be able to take this to whatever next step needed to be taken.
No, this is the other reason that I decided to play this video for you guys. Is this is something else that's new that he's saying and claiming? Is he's like, you're going to investigate this, and he demanded it. It's not like Hamada volunteered or said, oh, we're going to resolve this for you. He's like, no, you're going to do this. I'm going to be in Cyborg. I'm negotiating the Flashpoint appearance. And he said, and you're going to investigate this. So the statement that was made the rounds, a deadline, and all the other, made it sound like they were throwing him a bone. Okay, Ray, we'll investigate. I mean, that's the tone. That's what gaslighting is. That is creating a tone, gaslighting the general public to make it seem there is now. There's a lot that believe he is full of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that BS. That's not my point of view. I have a lot of questions. I do have a lot of questions. I am still supporting him until I have a reason not to, and I'm still taking him on his word. If he F's up and this is all for nothing and drags DC fans through this chaos for what my initial reaction when all this started is that Geoff Johns, Joss Whedon, and Berg are probably just a-holes. And they're probably nasty a-holes. Does that mean they need to be I don't think so. But I'm gonna let it play out, and I'll be the first to call out Ray if that happens. I'm not a blind follower. I'm not a sheep. I'm not not part of the flock. Okay. But if someone says something, I say see it through, give them a chance. And it is one man against the. I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of people coming out that are working in Justice League and stuff, adding to this conversation. It's just him. So I don't know. All right. Here's the interesting part.
Because in the article, they made it seem as if he bestowed this gracious request upon me to take it to the next level. Not at all. Not at all. After finally pinning him down and saying, would you be willing to support an investigation into what I'm relaying? And he and I had great.
Now that was a moment of this little video of Ray's, and I was like, kind of questioned. I was like, pin him down. That's strong words. And then he said, would you be willing to? That doesn't sound like pinning him down. I'll be on. Hey, I got to be fair. Fair is fair. That part of this video, I was like, what? Okay, Ray, you pinned him down for an investigation and then said, would you be willing to? I don't know if he just misspoke there, but that doesn't sound like what you're claiming. I got to tell you where my mind is going. That doesn't mean I think he's a liar or anything. I'm just saying. Okay, let's finish. There's like a minute left that I want to share.
Great detail about Joss Whedon. We talked in great detail about Geoff Johns. We talked in great detail about John Berg and his excuse for the situation with Geoff Johns was, well, Ray, I worked with Geoff on Shazam. I don't really think that he would do that sort of stuff or be that sort. And I go, Walter, you weren't there. I'm telling you, you weren't. You were not there when the man used back channel communication to call me into his office and made the veiled threat to my career. You weren't there for that. I said, you weren't there when Geoff Johns contacted me in 2018, a year and a half after Justice League, while I was shooting True Detective, to gloat, using back channel communications to gloat that there'd be another cyborg being used in the DC universe in the show that he was producing. I said, Walter, you weren't there for those things. You can't tell me about it. And so finally, when we got to the heart of all that stuff, and I realized that clearly this is a situation wherein Walter was attempting to protect Geoff Johns because of his continued business partnerships, such as Wonder Woman 1984, such as whatever other projects that they may have coming down the pipeline. I ended up saying, listen, this is just what I need. And so when he wanted more specifics about what was said and who said it, I refused to give him such specifics. I said, Walter, this is sensitive information. I said, the people that have stories to tell need to be protected. And so he did not escalate the situation in Warner Media. I received a phone call from the head of HR, the vice president of HR, and the vice president of labor relations from Warner Brothers. I had a 2-hour initial conversation with them wherein I detailed beat for beat, gave them names of people that they should interview, all of these things. And so, you know, the fact is I've got so many details that I can put to these stories, and I'm willing to do it face to face, right? So when having to combat that with generalized statements, generalized press releases, it's an impossible task for them to do. And so since they've opened up the can of worms, there are going to be certain things that I'm now going to be saying publicly,
Okay.
not about the specific experiences in Justice League, but in how the things have been handled up until this point, since I've come out with my allegations about Joss Whedon, Geoff Johns, John Berg. And if you remember, I had left in quotation marks and others. And there was a very specific reason why I put and others in quotation marks when I mentioned the Warner Brothers, the Warner Media rather, investigation. So you guys, I appreciate the love and I appreciate the support. I'm not going to stop fighting. I've had so many people reach out to me, both personally and people who I don't know, professionals in the industry who reached out and said, I know you're telling the truth.
Okay.
I know you're telling the truth
I don't know.
because they know the people that
I'm
we're
not
dealing
saying
with.
he's lying. I want
And
him.
so they're encouraging me to go on. You guys are encouraging me to go on. I'm going to
Yeah,
keep fighting the good fight,
I encourage you to
but I'm
go
going to
on.
fight it with hard fact. I'm not going to
Okay.
fight it with emotion like they're probably wanting me to do. I'm
Okay.
going to fight it with hard fact. I'm going to fight it with logic. I'm going to fight it with common sense because obviously that's the only thing that can cut through the nonsense, right? That's the only thing that can cut through those sorts of weird blanket statements that people make. So, you know, I will say, shame on them for doing that. And if they are hoping that I sue them, so that they can go on and ask a judge to put a gag order on me until all this stuff is done, they've got another thing coming.
I don't know.
I don't care what the situation ends up being. You're not going to keep me quiet. So
I don't know about that. I don't know, Ray. I don't know about that. If you go through a lawsuit, then you should stop. Well, if you're in an active lawsuit, your lawyer is going to tell you to stop talking until you get to court. So, oh, this is a mess. This is a mess. All right, I think you can watch the rest on your own. I'm going to be real with you. I still have some questions about it. Do I think that's lame if he did this? If he's telling the truth about calling him up to mock him after this cyborg is in Doom Patrol and Ray doesn't have a job anymore? Yeah, I think that's lame as hell. Even if you have a disagreement with someone. I mean, if Geoff actually did that, did he do it himself or did he have someone from the production do it? That's another thing. Did he actually say Geoff did it himself? He said back channels. What's that mean? I don't know. We'll talk about this more later on Movie Madness. Yes, we'll talk about it again. And I'm looking for a sci-fi dragon. Mr. Freeze. What the hell, man? What the hell? Say it to my face. Say it to my face. If you want to bring the heat, bring it on Madness. Bring it on Madness Live. I'll take it. I'll take it, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Sci-Fi Dragon. Come at me like Godzilla. But I'll come back like Kong. See you later.